All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 15 of the Modern Running Podcast. As always, I'm here with Jordan.
Yes, sir.
And today we're going to talk about a little bit of racing. And I know we touched on that in episode 2. We kind of talked about like our favorite races and stuff like that. But our brilliant audio man, Ethan, had the great idea of talking about kind of the racing strategies and kind of what goes through our head when we race, which I think is really cool, looking inside the mind of a collegiate athlete who does this like kind of like our job is to race well. And so seeing inside the mind of someone that, I don't want to sound like cocky, but like knows what they're doing. Like when I step up to the line, there's a plan and I have to execute, but also I have to be able to kind of think on the fly and read certain situations, because it's not just
the strategy is almost as important as the training.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you can't just go out there flying; you're gonna die out.
Right, you gotta plan things, and you gotta
be smart about everything.
You gotta be prepared for unexpected things. Like we talked about, like getting boxed in and stuff like that. Like there's different situations that you have to read, and what if somebody goes out crazy fast or crazy slow? Like there's different situations you kind of gotta read and know about, and then kind of read people's body language to figure out what the race is going to look like in the future, and then put that together, form an estimate, and then kind of go with it. So we'll get to that. Just a little taste of something to look forward to stay tuned. But first, you wanna talk about your week? I mean, you just moved in yesterday, back on campus.
Back on campus. Roommate moved in today, so I won't sleep alone tonight.
Well, that's
Last
good.
night was pretty lonely.
I sleep alone every night.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot.
It's okay. It's fine.
I forgot about that.
Damien's online. I miss you, Damien.
You have a big room though. You have high ceiling.
I do have a high ceiling.
I like that part.
It is very nice. Yeah.
My week was good. Actually, my week was all right. My shin started hurting again for the fourth time.
Right.
But I think
we figured it out.
Yeah,
you figured it out.
Yeah, my mom figured it out actually.
Big props to Jordan.
Because I run on one leg. I don't use my left leg to push off at all. So all of my speed is from one leg. Very bad.
For all of you who are like, getting into running, don't do that.
No, be very, opposite of asymmetrical, right? Symmetrical. Yeah, be very symmetrical when you're running.
You're good.
Yeah, do not be asymmetrical.
Yeah, so Jordan runs with just his right
and
leg.
It was like that since I started running apparently, because I got measured junior of high school. My trainer measured my legs, and my right quad circumference was an inch bigger than my left, and that was 2 years ago. No, two or 3 years ago. So I'm wondering if it's even worse now. But pretty much my right leg is just doing all the work, and that's the one that keeps getting hurt. Right. So we're thinking, and I think it's a pretty good thought and pretty accurate, that it's just overuse on that one leg, because the left leg shin is fine.
So you should unbelievably correct it and just use your left leg now.
I should.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Also bad idea. Don't do that. But we'll get you back into shape and be back.
It's just going to be a conscious thing I have to do every single time I run.
Yes.
And the more I do it consciously, every single run, it just
convert
to normal.
It just slowly gets back and becomes. It's like
which is going to be weird for
I
running.
My foot striking, and that was something that
I did that in high school too.
Just conscious every single run until now it's secondhand.
Now it's just how you do it.
Yep.
It's a hard thing to do. Changing parts of your form for running.
Yeah,
when you've
that
been
was
running
one of
for
my
years.
favorite things that, like, looking back on, I used to be like a really bad heel striker and wore Brooks, and now I changed it to a midfoot striker, and it's super more. It's not.
It's super more much better.
It's super more much better for me. No, but I do like it. It's more efficient, and just makes it feel faster.
It feels better. I'm midfoot striking these shoes right here.
Yeah. I like
compared to my
just a little too heavy for me.
Yeah, that's what I like about these. Is they're super light, which I was surprised by.
Right.
Which the stuff on top is like a lot more loose than the Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Which I love.
Less material up top. I like less material uppers.
Yeah.
It's a very.
I need them to have a tongue now.
Oh,
like
you remember?
That's my big thing with Nikes. A lot of them don't have a tongue.
I hate tongues.
And the laces hurt my ankle. That was my problem with my Pegasus.
This is my absolute favorite tongue of all time.
Does it have any padding at all? Nope. Or is it nothing?
Nothing. I love it. Speaking of, you remember how last week we talked about spikes and stuff like that?
Yes. Please tell me you ordered a pair.
They're both sold out, but we're not racing until outdoor. my mom said that I can get them both for Christmas. So I'm gonna get the Nike Zoom Victories with the air pocket and carbon fiber plate and atom knit upper, and I'm gonna get the Dragonflies.
You're getting both.
Yep.
That's
Ask me what I
insane.
need them for, because I don't.
That's insane.
I don't need them in the slightest, but I'm getting them. So Pete,
I mean,
our YouTube channel, come Christmas time, I'll do a little unboxing.
You
a
better
little
do
review.
unboxing.
Don't you worry.
Yes.
I got that GoPro, and dude, we're throwing money out the window. It's like $350 for both of them, but. Yeah, for
Those
one
are
is
some
the
expensive
Zoom Victories
spikes.
are 180, and then the Dragonflies are like 145, and they're for racing. Like that's it. Like I can't train in them. It's just racing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wear them for like maybe 18 minutes at a time. That's like the longest race. Yeah. It's crazy.
That's a pretty fast 8K, bro.
Well, I guess you're right. I was thinking 5K, but that's a really slow 5K on the track.
Yeah.
18, yeah, probably like 20, 26
like
minutes is
awkward
like
time.
the most.
Yeah.
18 was an awkward time. I don't know why I picked that. I don't know. But yeah, so that's good. So, Peep, you know, just keep your eye out in December. We might have a cool video. Speaking of that GoPro, though, big shout out to my brother. He let me borrow his GoPro because he's at school and didn't take it, so I did. And so we're going to do some workouts and stuff like that, I think, and record them and put them on our YouTube channel. So if you're interested in kind of learning about our workouts, what we do, if you want to like take some of them and, you know, simplify them a little bit, like if you're a high school athlete, don't go balls to the walls doing collegiate workouts. That's not going to benefit you.
Yeah.
But if you're interested in just kind of seeing what we do, learning about what we do, or if you're like doing your own training, then by all means, check them out. We're going to try and see what we can do. I think we got to play around with the whole recording of things and figuring things out and stuff like that. But I think we're going to do like shots from the workout. We'll talk over it, obviously, so you don't hear like wind and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we'll talk over it and kind of explain what we're doing, why we're doing it, the paces that we're hitting, but explain it in kind of terms of effort so that you don't hear a 32, 200 and you're like, well, I don't know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about it in terms of effort so that you can kind of apply it to what you're doing. And I think that'll be a cool little thing that we can do on our YouTube to kind of increase popularity over there.
Ideally, off-track stuff, we should get someone with a bike. And
That's
put
what
it
I
on
wanted
the back
Jeff to.
and they cruise.
Jeff to do it on like long runs that we go on. He can record, and
Yeah.
because then just having shots of us running is gonna be cool that we can pull out whenever.
Yeah, especially when we're cruising.
Yeah.
It's just like
Bingo. So yeah, and I'm hoping he can get shots while we're like going around the track, either on a bike or the Tin Man Elite people just have somebody run around the infield and he records them going around while they do their workouts.
Isn't that like Chicky?
No, he does a very good job at holding it.
That's insane.
But I also do want to look into like what are they called, like gyro
Something
things? You know
like
the
that.
things that like when you go to like move it, it stays still.
Yeah.
If I can do this and the camera stays up there. Somebody let me know what it's called. I don't know.
Some
what
of
it's
them
called,
are
but
mad expensive. Like the ones
some
for
of them
like
are
big
mad
vlogging
expensive.
cameras. Like
Yes.
I went to a car show once and this dude was holding it with, it was like a two-handed thing with
Yes.
a big camera.
They're insane.
And I was like,
I just
You-
want
it's
one
probably
where I
like
can go
$5
blah blah blah
grand.
blah 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 blah, and it'll stay
Yeah.
pretty flat. But yeah, so that'll be pretty exciting. I'm really excited actually to do kind of recording
Those are
and,
gonna be
and
really cool.
expand our YouTube channel, not just to be podcast episodes, but also other stuff that y'all will be interested in, so you can kind of get to know us a little bit more in terms of the running side of things, not just two guys sitting behind a microphone talking, but also sharing like firsthand information, which I think will be cool.
yeah.
So yeah, do you have anything else? You mean your week went well aside from the whole shin thing?
Yeah. It ended spectacular today.
Yeah?
8.5 mile run. That was the longest I've done all summer.
8.5 mile run. Your computer, something just happened. I hope that's okay.
I don't know what that is. Let
You
me
go
check it
ahead.
out.
I'll go ahead and talk. I'll fill in the blanks. Jordan is. We're having trouble trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing. Trying to figure out a way to record and get things on YouTube is so difficult.
It's
but
been such a process, and it really shouldn't.
that's the thing. I'll take it though, for the fact that we have awesome audio. I'll take that over.
Like anyone working at
YouTube video.
Apple, can they tell me why I have 30 gigs of free space on my iCloud, but it's not transferring my video to my iCloud so I can get it on my computer?
Bizarre. Apple's interesting.
It's such a complicated process. I don't even know what popped up. I just hit no. I'm probably gonna have to update something later.
No, it's alright. As long as it's still recording. Which
Yeah.
it looks
Well,
like
I
it is.
didn't want to hit yes because it probably would have stopped it.
Smart.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. 8.5 mile run. It was a good long run. We did a nice
It
trail
felt
today.
really good too.
Yeah.
Like for a bit of it, I think we were going at like 7:20, 7:30. Like we were
Really?
moving for some of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously once I hit that like threshold of wow, this is like not like I didn't consciously be like this is the longest I've went because I didn't have a watch.
Right.
But it was like your body just knows.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I started falling back, and then you and Vince passed me, and it was done by that point.
That's
That was
alright. You
literally
were
the
right
end
there.
of it. Yeah.
You were like 100 feet from the finish.
But I was never like sluggish. I
Right,
would say.
right. You didn't look sluggish. You just
Yeah.
looked like you were controlling your pace.
Yeah.
Which is good. Nice. Well, that's good. I had a good week. Dude, this coming week is gonna be stressful. I have 3 exams. I have
3 exams plus all that mileage.
3 exams, 100-mile week. I have a meeting on Thursday, a meeting next Monday, a meeting tonight. But I'm just like, holy crap. I mean, my exams will be easy. Like, I was in an exam in Spanish 102. Like, it's not going to be hard.
Yeah.
I have an exam in like, elementary statistics. It's not going to be hard.
Stats, baby.
Dude, we literally don't use the word Z-score because that's too advanced.
I heard because I took AP stats in high school, and I got credit for like the
Yeah.
early stats, and I heard the only difference is like it's like literally the same stuff, but like terminology and the math
Yes.
is like
I don't do math.
cut out. Yeah, exactly.
I don't do math.
Which I don't
He was like,
understand.
the most math you're gonna ever have to do is like calculating an average or maybe taking a square root.
That's insane.
I know, I'm so happy. Bro, I'm so happy. To all of
You
my
went
people
you
who
went
are-
from analysis
Yeah.
to
And it's the same professor that I had for analysis.
really.
Barry Smith. He told me he's really not worried about my success in this class because he thinks I'm going to do just fine. He lets me take the class fully online. I was like, hey, I'm on campus, but can I just take it online? Because it's 8 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and I have my other two classes are online. I'm like, I don't feel like getting up and going to class at 8 a.m. And I was straight up honest with him. I was like, dude, I just really don't want to get up at 8 a.m. and go to class, and my other two are online. Is there any way I can just take it online? And he's like, normally I stray away from that because it's more difficult for students to learn online. And I was like, man, that's going to suck. But then he goes, but given your background in analysis, I think you're going to be just fine. And I was like, yes, I got a D in analysis, and he thinks I'm going to be just fine in this class. I'm so happy.
That's right.
So that was dope. So he's a cool guy. I answer his questions, and he is impressed by my answers because they're, actuarial science level answers, and
Yes.
he's expecting
You're giving great
elementary
detail.
statistics, mass 170 answers.
Which I'm pretty sure is the stats class that health majors take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Damien had.
The
to do.
people with like no math background are taking
Yeah.
that. That's like
And
my
here I
connective.
am, baby.
My
I don't know
connective,
why
I'm
they
taking-
didn't just waive it, but they didn't. It's fine. It's cool. I'm not upset. I'll take it. It's a free class. Dude, I feel bad for people that are stressed this semester, because like I should be, because I'm a junior in college.
Mhm.
But my classes are total jokes. I have one class that's not a 100 level course. Every other class I have is a 100 level course. Dude, I don't know how I finessed it that way. I have so many gen eds that I'm just getting out of the way. So that's where next semester and next year are just going to rock me, but I think I'll be
Yeah.
alright. I just have to take all business classes. On the plus side, we're straying away from running a little bit, and I apologize, but after this year, I have one more class, and I get my economics degree.
Nice.
Isn't that terrifying? I know nothing about economics. Like, I mean nothing.
You
Like,
don't
I
remember
mean,
any
like,
of it?
Principles, I don't know anything.
Oh, boy.
Like the building blocks, nope, nothing. I'm so sorry to anybody who likes economics. I think it's dope. I can tell you game theory. I know all about game theory, but anything else like elasticity, I don't know what it means.
I don't either.
I've got no idea.
I haven't learned
Ethan's
that.
over there laughing. Yeah, I'm one class away from getting my degree. I don't know what elasticity means. I know, isn't it crazy? I don't know how I finesse my way through all of these classes, but here I am taking a 300 level economics course and got an A in it. I don't know how. I have an exam on Tuesday. I don't know what's on it.
What?
Yeah, it's with Delavan, and I love Delavan, but he is very much a whack job.
Oh boy.
But anyway, so running. Let's start with, what's your favorite race besides cross country. Like, so we'll talk cross country, the way you break down races.
Okay.
We can talk kind of the difference between indoor and outdoor because there is a difference.
Big difference.
So favorite race indoor, favorite race outdoor. Go ahead.
Ooh, I mean, this isn't really a fair vote for me because I haven't raced what I'm supposed to be specializing in for outdoor.
Yeah, but I think
But based on what I've done, because I've only done high school races for outdoor. Like I haven't done 5 or 10K.
I think you know you're gonna like the 10K.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really long. Yeah, because I don't like the 5K indoor. Wait, hold on.
Beautiful.
Indoor. What was my favorite?
What's your
I
favorite?
really don't like the mile. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be straight up. I don't like the mile. It's too fast.
I agree.
It's way too
fast. I like
fast.
the mile, but I'm not good at it.
No. I don't know what. I don't think I have the leg speed.
Here we are saying we're not good at the mile. We run a 4-something mile, and
Yeah,
everybody's
but
like,
compared to the like times that other people are running at these meets, I think indoor I just have to go 5K because my only other option is
the 3K.
3K.
Bingo! I was waiting for you to say
3K is my favorite.
That is my all-time favorite.
It's the happy
indoor.
medium.
100%.
That is the happy medium.
The 3K is just under 2 miles. And listen to this. I'm going to describe this to you, and it's going to sound beautiful. Okay, I'm looking at Ethan for those who can't see me. It is like you take the speed of a mile, and you go a little bit slower, but you go almost twice the distance. And it's bliss. I'm telling you, you feel like you're going so fast, and everybody's like, you did that for how long? Oh my gosh. Perfect race.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect race.
I did miss qualifying by 3 seconds, so I got a bad taste in my mouth for it.
That's right. That's right.
But it is super fast, and it feels strong as you do it. The 5K is a little grueling.
The 5K, it's just hard because it's indoor. And when you think about it's air that doesn't move because there's no ventilation or anything like that.
Yep.
So like the 5K outdoor and the 5K indoor are two totally different beasts. Like running the 5K indoor my freshman year was terrible. But then like outdoor, you can breathe and there's air and there's like, there's elements like wind and rain and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like, it's totally different races while they're still the same distance. One's a 200-meter track, one's a 400-meter track. One's inside, one's outside. Like, totally different games.
The 200-meter track with the turn being so sharp adds a big element because every time I'd race the 5K, I'd get blisters. Which I also didn't have great spikes for indoor this year, but they were off. I had to use my roommate. My roommate is a multi, so heptathlete indoor and decathlete outdoor.
Yeah.
I used his distance spikes for my last 5K indoor.
Which is bad.
It felt amazing. Like, they were brand new spikes to me, but they felt so much better.
Spend $350 on brand new Nike spikes. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm just gonna. Oh, I hit the microphone. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I might have to actually.
Boom! Yeah!
I might have to.
I'm
Either that or like an older version.
The victories are good all around.
Yeah.
If you're doing 5K to 10K, I'd recommend Matumbos or
Matumbo?
Dragonflies.
I like that name, Matumbo. Is that?
Matumbo.
I feel like that's
Those
someone's
are the white
name.
ones that I have. Matumbos are 3K to 10K, which are Dragonflies. Dragonflies technically say 800 to 10K, but the victories also say 800 to 10K.
That's a big range.
I would not wear victories for a 10K.
That's a really big range.
Yeah. The Dragonflies have more of foam. I'll tell you about them.
Okay.
But yeah,
Outdoor.
Matumbos are nice.
Outdoor favorite event. Again, not the mile.
Nope. Well, that's 1500 collegiate, but yeah.
Oh yeah, 1500. 3200 from high school? No.
3K.
Too grueling.
Well,
So
there is no 3K in outdoor. There's 3K steeple.
Yeah, I think my favorite race is going to be based off a prediction because I haven't run either of them. I think 5K.
That's
outdoor.
The
5K.
thing is, if I didn't do steeple, it would be my favorite event. But I do steeple, and the steeple is just.
I couldn't do steeple. I don't think I could do that.
That's the thing. That's what I love so much about it is that this isn't again me being like braggy or anything like that. But
it's
like
100% true though.
not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I get it done.
You're
4 foot
one
tall.
of the shortest people on the team.
But
and you're top steeple chaser.
But dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I like the 3K. I like the 5K indoor. I do. I just feel like I haven't seen as much success as I have in the 3K.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like right there, but like 5K is just a little lower.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like the 3K more. Like I'm closer to the school record in the 3K.
Yeah.
But don't you worry, I'll get them both.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna be the first person to go sub 15. Let me see history.
No one's going sub 15 in 5K indoor
Or outdoor.
or outdoor.
15:01.
Really?
I want to be the first person, but that's fast as shit. So we'll see.
Our 10K record's like not even fair.
It's because I think they missed a lap.
I think that's what coach said too.
Yeah, we think they missed a lap.
What is it? 30? 30?
Something like that.
Yeah, which is
it's like if you took
nuts.
his 5K PR and then doubled
Exactly.
it, which is just not make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, so my favorite race is definitely 3K indoor, 3K steeple outdoor. But again, if I didn't do the steeple, it would be the 5K. So those two are both. They have a very special place in my heart.
So we have similar likings
Yeah,
in our
we do.
racing.
We're very similar
Nothing
people.
too short.
All right, so let's break down. We'll start with cross because that's fall.
Are we going 8K or 5K cross?
8K because we do
8K?
that most of the
Okay,
time.
yeah.
And even
Probably been a
D1
while since you've done
do
it.
10K,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll do 8K cross and kind of break that down, and then we'll go indoor outdoor, kind of follow the season.
Yeah, gotcha.
Do you want to start?
Well, for me, my strategy's kind of whack.
Okay.
I kind of flip-flopped it from high school.
Okay.
High school, I kind of just stayed the same during all my miles, which is what I do now, but it's mentally totally different.
Okay.
Because we have 5 miles of
Right.
coverage
4.99.
in an AK.
Yep.
Almost a half hour of time.
Right.
Like, to be zeroed in and like focused for that whole time, for me, that's a lot.
Right.
So I normally take the first mile and a half. I'm not going slow by any means, but I'm not zeroed in focused. I'm looking around, I'm taking in the environment.
Which is interesting.
I'm really taking in like the race atmosphere.
Right.
And it really, I'm taking like really deep breaths, like just controlling my body
Right.
as
Kind of settling into things.
controlling myself as much as I can, not going up too fast, not falling back. And then around 2 miles or 5K, that's when I start picking it up, and that's when I start passing people. I don't think there was a race this fall where I got past more than I passed people in the last half.
Right.
But I also don't get past in the first half.
Right.
So wherever I start, I finish like 50 spots ahead.
Right.
Especially at regionals.
Right.
Regionals,
yeah.
I passed a lot of people.
So you are a kind of second half of the race racer
Yes.
where you kind of sit and maintain and then you increase.
Yeah, which has its perks and it has its disadvantages. Because
Right.
if you're like upper echelon runner,
Right.
it might not work as well because you're going to be running with like the middle pack and you can't even see what the front guys are doing.
Right.
Like if they make a
Yes.
move, you can't see that to cover for it.
Right.
But like for me, middle of the pack, like top middle of the pack,
Right.
it's fine. It works well.
Good. That's interesting because I have a similar, like I race similar to where I move up over the second half, but like the moment I step, like my toe goes behind that line, I am laser focused
Mhm.
on like there's nothing else that exists except me and everybody else in this race. Like my parents don't even exist in this
Dang.
plane. I am laser focused. It is me, my team, my coach, and everybody else. And it's like that gun goes off, and then it's like, all right, I don't care how many people I'm friends with on this line. It's me versus everybody. Like,
Gotcha.
I have no friends. I have no like commitments to anybody. It's who can get to the finish line the fastest,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it me. And so it's like the moment that my head comes up to start, like I start with my head down, and then like I look up to. This is gonna sound weird, and again, people are gonna think it's like cringy or whatever. But I watch.
Whatever
So
works.
when you shoot a gun, you know the starting gun, I see the smoke before I hear the sound.
Yeah.
And so I go when I see the smoke. Like it takes an extra like millisecond I'm talking to register. Like it's very, very subtle, and most people are probably like, okay, no, I doubt you even. I'm telling you, I feel a difference.
Yeah.
And I see that smoke, and I take off, and like I easily get a nice half step before everybody else.
Definitely.
So like the moment I look up to watch that gun, laser focused. That race starts, and I'm like, okay, plan this out.
You're
plan this
really
out.
zeroed in the whole
Yes,
time.
the entire time I'm laser focused on my job and how I can do it as efficiently and effectively as possible. And it's, okay, how do I take this turn? Okay, take it sharp. Okay, look, there's a lot of people, so take it a little wider and then pass people because they're going to crunch up and slow down.
Yeah.
Like there was one turn at our home meet where it's a sharp turn.
Yeah, wait, I
and
know exactly what you're talking
yeah,
about.
a bunch of people crowd around it. So
Yep.
it's like, okay, move
I
out.
take it wide every time.
Yep, take it wide every single time.
If
So
you
it's
take
like-
it wide and put a little surge in there,
Mhm.
it looks so
Past, like,
cool
20
because there's
people.
so many people
Yep.
watching, and you're just
Yep.
you're zooming.
So I'm always constantly like, okay, find this person, stay behind them. Okay, this person moved up. Do I feel like moving up? Okay, I do. Move up, get around, stick with them.
Yep.
Okay, he's falling back. Okay, do I fall back with him? Do I make a move? Do I pass him? Do I not pass him? Do I wait and see if somebody else is going to make a move and then go with them?
Yep.
What do I do? Can I make a move and get up to the guy in front and close the gap in a reasonable amount of time so that I'm not in no man's land by myself?
Mm-hmm.
All these thoughts are going through my head.
Sticking with people and not, like you said, I really like that being in no man's land
Mhm.
are key in cross country.
Yes, that is the biggest thing. When you run for 5 miles, like racing for 5 miles, you need to be with somebody.
Yeah.
Even the leaders will tell you, unless you're Patrick Watson, you need to be with
Yeah.
somebody. Like, Patrick Watson was a national champion, that's why I say that.
Unless you're up there by 30
Right,
seconds a minute.
right. So it's like, that's like, you let other people do the work for you.
Mhm.
You sit on them and you let them do the work, and you just cruise. And then it saves you energy because you're not like I can focus on other things rather than, okay, is my pace good? Is my pace good? Because in cross country, I always was told this, JV, in high school, you care about your time.
Yeah.
In varsity, you don't care about your time, it's about your place.
Yep.
And I took that right to college. I don't care what time I run, it's my place.
Yep.
I took that to max. I don't care what time I run, it's my place.
Yep.
And so even now, it's like, I don't care what pace I'm going. Am I in the top 10 right now? Yes. Okay, good. Then let's stay there. Somebody passes me, we roll with them. I don't care about my pace. We stay with them. Top 10, always.
That's good.
And I think it's good because it's like, yeah, you have days where you run a little slower, but then like, yeah, you have days where you run a lot faster because you're like, I don't care about my pace.
Yeah.
It's, I have to stick with this person. That is my job.
They're
That's
really
what I'm going to do.
competing.
Right. So yeah, cross country is really interesting because you have to analyze it like that at every moment. Like, am I doing good? Am I in a good spot? Is there a spot that I could be that's in a better play? Like, could I be in a better spot right now? Do I just sit? Do I move up? Do I slow down? And you don't know where your team is, like, unless, well, again, this is going to sound really cocky, but like, for me, I don't know where you guys are.
Yeah.
You're all
Until I'm playing peekaboo.
You're all behind me, right? And then, so it's like I don't want to say it like that, but like I don't know
It's
where
true,
you
though.
are.
Yeah.
You all could be falling off, and I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I have to do my best to carry my team to where we should be, and then trust that you all will fall in where you should be as well. But like if you're back and you see, me starting to fall off, well then that can give you can analyze that and be like, okay, I got to move up because Noah's falling off.
Yeah.
And either I'm going really fast or Noah's going really slow. That's not saying that there's a huge gap between you and me, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. I gotta give a huge compliment and shout out to Tanner. He starts faster than I do, and so I catch him maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles in, and I pass him like pretty good speed. This boy does not let me go.
Yeah.
Like, he sees me pass him, he is stuck on me the entire race.
Good.
Every single race of the season, except for the first one, because I didn't know how to race an AK.
Right.
Every single race, except regionals as well. But like, even up until max, because both of us PR'd by a minute
Right.
for max.
Which is good.
And we were 4 seconds apart every single race. He does not let me go.
That's what I like.
Which is amazing
I like
strategy.
that. It's hard to do, but it also helps when you see a team.
No
that
matter
passes you.
how he was feeling
Yep.
at any race, like if he saw me go, he won.
Which is good for you to recognize now, forming into your own leadership role to where, okay, I'm going to go and run my race, but I'm going to pull you with me. Come here. You're not done yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And having that in a cross-country race is huge.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all is team-based. Everybody thinks it's an individual sport, but it's so much team-based.
It is.
And so it's like, I'm going to go, but you're coming with me,
Running
I'm
with
gonna
a
drag you along.
stranger to your side versus
Right.
running with someone who you've put hours
Right.
and so many miles
Right.
with of hard work,
Yep.
totally different.
Completely
It's so
different.
much better.
Yeah, especially because you have that friendly competition to where I'm not going to lose to you, but you
Mhm.
also have that, like, let's do this together.
Yeah, like
You know?
let's catch him.
Right, let's both move up. We're going to
Yeah.
use each other to move up, and boom, it creates, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now just talking about it.
Yeah, I can't keep my legs still.
Creates a huge, huge advantage.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Is there anything else you had?
Just hills. I think
Oh,
hills
yeah.
are a very
Yeah,
important
realizing
thing to
hills.
work around for cross
That is-
country.
And did you guys do course walks in high school?
Yes.
Okay, so in high school we walked the course before, and that was helpful because then you could see the course and figure it out.
Yep.
In college we don't do course walks.
I liked it though.
I do too,
It's the element of unknown. It's so fun.
I like it a
It
lot.
adds that fun to the sport.
Yes. It's like you got to know the course from the year before and remember it.
Yeah.
And if you
And
are a
if you've
freshman,
never
it's
been
okay.
there
You're
before,
just about figuring
yeah,
it out.
exactly.
And you're gonna learn. Like DeSales, freshman year, I didn't know there was that big hill at the end. I went up that thing. I was like, I just want to die. I have
Yeah.
never wanted to die more in my entire life. This is awful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna quit. I'm done. I'm tired. This is stupid. I want to go home. I'm cold. I'm muddy. All that.
Fun fact, I thought the finish was like 800 meters shorter for the sales, so I started picking it up. I got a side
and
stitch.
then you got to turn the corner.
Yeah. I got a side stitch and had to back off a little bit.
Good. But yeah, like last year then I was like, okay, I know this hill's here, so I'm gonna do like, there was like people dying before that hill, and I was like, all right, here's where you make a surge up the hill, and then you really like, that seals it. That puts the money in the grave.
Yep.
You are nail in the coffin, you're done.
Yep.
So that was like analyzing things like that. Hills are a huge point to where it's like, you know, when you go up, I've always been taught you run through the hill. So you get to the top and you keep going, because other people, they get to the top and they slow down.
Then your legs really hurt.
Right. And so I was like, you keep going and you make distance, create distance, because they get no man's land.
Yep.
They're screwed.
And you really got to know how to run hills too.
Right.
My high school teammate Gage Crawl,
Right.
huge shout out to him. I know he listens. We had this thing where I was really good at pacing. Like if you were to, I like this MAC competition, taking your watch off and seeing what time you can guess. Because in high school when we would do mile repeats, 800 repeats, 400 repeats, I'd be spot on like a second or two wager. I'm talking in a mile.
Wow.
So like very consistent, knowing like what pace I'm going. And he was very good at hills. So I was like, hey man, you teach me how to run hills, I'll teach you how to pace. And we did. I mean, he got the better end of that because he blasted off. He became a very good runner.
Right.
But so pretty much downhill, just as important as uphill.
Yeah.
Like you got to grind up the hill and past the hill. But once you're downhill, you can't just let gravity go. You gotta lean. You gotta open that stride out.
Yep.
You get so much more time off of your total if you fly down the downhills.
Yeah, like you gotta like. I have no concern for my safety when I go down hills.
Yeah.
Like if I fall and get a concussion right through a tree, so be it.
Did
I'm
you-
going.
I know you know about Nike Cross National, but did you hear of Foot Locker Nationals?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago. Reed Brown, he's running for Oregon right now.
Okay.
The final downhill, which is very steep at that race, he passed the leader there, or he was in the lead, and he opened it up. It was night. See ya. He went on to win. If you have free time, or if anyone listening has free time, go and watch that. Go on YouTube, look up Reed Brown Foot Locker Nationals.
Okay.
And it's probably going to bring up the race. Watch his finishing 800 or so.
Okay.
Incredible hill running.
Yeah, that's super important. So there's a lot that goes into cross country. A lot of people think you just line up on the grass and run a course like you would any normal, like, you know, family 5K, but there's a lot of thought that goes into it because it's such a team thing to where it's like, okay, am I making the best decision for me that will then directly benefit my team?
Yeah.
Like that's what goes through my head. And a huge example of that is Jeff Campagna freshman year at Max. I was coming up behind him at Max and I was like, this is not good. Like Jeff should be faster. So I passed him, killed myself doing it, but I knew that would give him a surge, and he went on to be
similar
second
thing
team.
happened this year at Max.
Yes.
I was up with him and then he took off.
Yep, he does that. He's very good at not letting you beat him.
Yes.
So yeah, recognizing that to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna put myself in a little more pain, but it's gonna help a teammate out. And like anyone watching to the average eye is like, oh, Noah surged and then died, where it's like, well, there's a point to that because I wanted Jeff to, I wanted to help him out.
Yeah. And even when you like surge and die in a race, your dead pace,
right?
It's still a good race pace.
Right.
It's just because that surge looks incredibly fast to what people are doing for the whole time. Whereas you can surge, go back to normal, and people watching would be like, "Oh, he just died."
Right.
No, I just stopped my surge. I'm getting more comfortable.
Right. Exactly. I don't need just because you pick it up doesn't mean you maintain that pace the whole time.
Yeah.
There are fluctuating levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, indoor is interesting because you like you said the turns. The turns are very sharp, and I don't like passing people on the turns at all.
I don't like passing people in indoor in general.
Yeah.
I mean, you have what, 50 meters?
Right. So that's the
So
thing.
you have to move.
Right. An
if you're
outdoor
passing.
track, as most people know, 400 meters. You got 100-meter straightaways and
Yeah.
100-meter curves.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor is 200-meter track, so you got 50-meter straightaways and 50-meter curves. So if you don't pass on the curves, you've cut your time to pass in half, essentially, because you have half the straightaway. Which makes things really difficult because it's like, okay, your surge is either going to be faster because you're going to want to get out, speed up, and get in
Yep.
very quickly. You're going to end up going on the curves, or you're not going to pass. So you've got like different options there to where it's like you've got to see the race and look into the future and figure out how fast you're going to get to this curve and figure out if you can get in.
Yep.
And in indoor, since it is only a 50-meter curve, if you run in a little bit of lane 2, it's not the end of the world.
A lot of times, if you come off that curve cooking, like you start picking
Yeah.
up in the later end of the curve, you can pass that guy before the next curve.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you still got to surge faster than you would.
Right, you got to come off the corner. It's got to be, you can't think of it on the straightaway. You got to think of it on the curve and
Yeah.
then whip out in the lane 2, pass them, get over,
Yeah.
and then keep your momentum going. So 3K is kind of what we said our favorite event was. 15 laps indoors, which to those of you, most of you, might seem like a lot. Some of you might not. But 25 for a 5K is
A lot.
that's a lot.
For indoor, it's a lot.
So 15's a cakewalk. But yeah, it's like 1.87 miles or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's again a lot that goes into it. You don't have necessarily the course analyzation that we talked about because it's a 200-meter track. But I think more of it goes into pacing, how you want to run it, because you don't know how the guy next to you is going to run it, and like we said in cross country, you want to be with somebody.
Yeah.
Like running a 3K indoors by yourself is an absolute nightmare. So it's like,
We are going at the same time.
excuse me, my goodness, long run today killed me. So it's like, you don't want to be by yourself. You don't want to be guns blazing, but you don't want to be going super slow. You're hoping that other people don't go guns blazing. You're hoping that other people don't go super slow.
Yep.
Which happens sometimes, believe it or not. And you kind of gotta. Sometimes you gotta like adapt on the fly and throw away your race plan and roll with what the race dictates. And that can be difficult for those that don't have necessarily a high race IQ.
Right.
Like it's if you are like, okay, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna hit like 34s every 200 and keep going and keep going, and then I'll slowly break down to 32s, and your first 30 or 200 is a 30, and then you go to 32s, and like that's what the pack is doing. Well, you gotta go with it, because if you go back and like, no, I'm gonna hit 34s, well, you're gonna be gone.
Yep.
Like you're out of the race.
Yep.
And so it's like there's a lot of reading the race to where it's like if 3 or 4 guys go out guns blazing, okay, do I stay back with the secondary pack? Do I move up with them? Do me and another guy go out in a no man's land together?
Mm-hmm.
Do we how do we figure this out? And that's hard to kind of plan when you have a set plan that works so well on paper and then it falls apart, which happens a lot of the times in races. Like very few races work perfectly.
Yeah.
And so you got to be able to adapt and think. Again, similar to how we said in cross country, what's the best decision for me?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's often overlooked, to where it's like, if you're not prepared for people to go out guns blazing, well, how do you adapt to that on the fly? Like, what do you do?
Right.
Do you hang on? Do you try and sit on the back? Do you make a move to be in the middle? Do you what do you do? So I think that's something that's really interesting that a lot of people don't think about.
Yeah. For me, for track, pacing is so much harder than pacing in cross country. I don't know what it is, but when I start hearing like a second or two slower than what my time should be, it like tears down my mental game completely.
Really?
Which I think is why, like, I missed 3 seconds for the 5K, 3 seconds for the 3K, 10 seconds for the 5K.
Right.
But like each time I was going strictly for time instead of just running, For cross country, I ran great times because I was just running and racing the people.
Right, which is fair.
So I think I was just getting inside my head too much and trying to do like way too many calculations and things of time versus actually racing the people there right in front of me for track compared to cross country.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, track. I think it's a lot different with like a 5K because a 5K track, similar to a 10K outdoor, is like coach usually puts you with people so that even if the race goes completely off the rails, you have enough people in a group to where you are good. Like my first 5K, he had Noah Brady pace me. And so it's like, even if people go out guns blazing or really slow, you stay with Noah Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Noah Brady is a senior, and therefore he is able to, similarly to how you and I did it at F&M.
Mm-hmm.
You, me,
It
Noah
was kind
Baxter.
of 4 or 5.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 people,
Plus
and it was like, no matter what happens with the race, you all stay with me.
Yeah.
Like, I will be who you stay with. And so it was like, there's different ways you can kind of manipulate it to go the way you want, but then it's you're putting a lot of faith in me to, you know, hit those times, and then.
But you did a really nice job pacing that one. I think you're spot on.
I appreciate that. I went to the last mile, and the coach said I can go.
Yeah, I mean last mile. I mean,
last one, fast one.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that was it's interesting because you can manipulate a race in that way, to where it's like, all right, everyone stay on Noah, and then you know. That's just what you do.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of thought that goes into it. Or you can be like, all right, feel the race out, you know, figure it out. Like, that's how a lot of my races this year were, especially at Max. Like, this is a good one that we can actually talk about. Indoor Max, I ran the 5K on Friday and the 3K on Saturday. So my legs were tired for Saturday. Both races, I think the 5K is a good example. I'll start with that one. So on Friday, we started a 5K. I was going, running with the national champion, or would have been the national champion for cross indoor and outdoor. He's going to triple crown. Super gifted runner, Patrick Watson. Great guy. Shout out to you. But anyways, so like, he obviously, you know, went with another kid from Widener, and then there was another pack, you know, the main pack.
They duked it up pretty well too.
They did, and I mean, Patrick Watson didn't go as fast as he needed to.
Right.
The other kid
made
went
for a really
as fast
good
as he could. Yes, he
visually,
did.
yeah.
So Patrick Watson could have gone a lot faster if he wanted to, but you know. But anyways, like, so there's this whole pack, and then like a group of 2 guys broke off, and I decided, I was like, this isn't the right call. Like, I don't want to do that. Because it's still early. I think we still had like a mile and a half left. I was like, all right, I'm not comfortable yet. Well, with a mile left, me and another guy broke off, and I was like, I'm gonna go with him, and I'm gonna sit on him. And so I kind of left the pack, which is bold because if you do it too slow, you're gonna pull that whole pack with you.
Yep.
So like, but if you do it too fast, you know you're gonna die. So I was like, okay, I gotta leave this pack, but not guide it. So I like made my way up to the front, and then kind of surged and dropped everybody, and then caught up to this guy, and I sat right on his shoulder so that he knew I was there. And this is the nice thing that I like, is like, I helped him so that he wasn't alone, and he helped me as well, so that I wasn't alone, and he carried me. So he obviously did more work, but I still did, like, I helped him. Kind of having somebody, that's what I like about, I run on people's shoulders a lot. I don't run right behind them, because if I'm using them as like, okay, you're gonna pace me, buddy. Like, I'll sit on your shoulder so you know I'm there and right on you, so it keeps you moving.
Right.
So we did really well. I got, man, I think I got 6. I got 6 in the 5K, which I was lucky to get top 8. I was very happy with that. That was an amazing performance, and my coach was like, no, you ran that beautifully. You read the race great. You didn't go out too early, because quite frankly, I like can swallow my pride enough to say I wouldn't have been able to hold on. If I had gone a mile and a half early, I wouldn't have been able to hold on.
Right.
No chance. So then the next day in the 3K, I was going up against very similar people that I went up against in the 5K. Kind of same thing happened with Patrick Watson, the guy from Widener. And I was like, all right, well, like, let's read this. Let's figure out what's going to happen. I'm not going to be the one to make a move, but somebody is, similar to in the 5K. And this time, the same person who made the move in the 5K made the move in the 3K, and I was like, I got this. Like, I can do this. And you
Yeah.
just kind of know. And I was like, all right, I can do this. I can handle this. So I went out with him, and I sat on, and were you at Max at all?
I was.
Do you remember this race at all?
Vaguely.
No, Baxter was like, this is
I
one of the
remember where I
coolest-
was cheering for you, yeah.
He was like, this was one of the coolest races to watch because, and again, I hope this doesn't sound like I'm bragging, but I've never had a kick throughout high school. College, I started to develop one, but coach still liked to tease me about not having one.
Mm-hmm.
So, last lap, 200 meters to go, with like 215 meters to go, okay, so like before the bell, I scoot out on the straightaway. It's really late because I told you I had like 15 meters before I got to the turn. And I was like, gun it. Like, just go. Rip it. Give it everything you have. This is the last race of the season. Like, rip it.
Mm-hmm.
So I come across the line, and I'm telling you, I make it 50 meters into the turn. And I was like, man, my legs hurt. This was a bad idea. This was stupid. And I was like, well, you see, where my team was at, they were at like the 100-meter mark. So they were halfway around the track. And I was like, if I just pass this dude in front of my coach, and then I get passed down in front of my team, and then my coach sees me lose to this kid, I'm gonna look really stupid. So I'm not gonna do that. And that all went through my head in like a second. I was like, well, don't run slower. I guess you gotta run faster. So I just started booking it even faster. And I was like, can't slow down now. And I like made it to the end of the turn. And I was like, well, you can't slow down now. You're about to go by the team. So I like sprinted down the stretch. And I was like, well, you can't slow down now. You're about to finish. You're 100 meters away at this point. Absolutely booked it around the corner. And I was like, well, there's the finish line. You can't slow down now. So I booked it again, which has never, ever, ever gone through my head. And I finished and I turned around and I was just like, what just happened? Like, I had this such an out-of-body experience. I was like, what in the world is going on? So that was really cool, and I ended up finishing 5th there. But those were 2 times where I was like, I really read that race well. And coach even said, like, no, you did a very good job of reading that race. Like, you knew exactly where you wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. And the guy that I passed was like, hell of a kick, Noah. And like, he came up to me afterwards, and I was like, oh, thanks. And I know him from cross. And he was like, I really didn't think you had that one. After the 5K and all that, and he beat me in the 5K. But he was like, after the 5K, I just really didn't expect anybody to have something like that. I was like, me neither. Don't really know where it came from. I just kind of closed my eyes and I was like, all right, fine, don't slow down.
Yep.
He just kind of laughed at that, but that was a good stuff. And
interesting thing about kicking is once you start it, and like you don't just decide to stop it immediately.
yeah,
Like when you start it and you take it to the finish line to the point where like your legs just start going a little bit numb and like you can tell that you're cruising, but sometimes it doesn't look like you're cruising if you're like really dead.
right.
But it's such an amazing feeling.
It's like once you.
It's like you unlock this potential you didn't know you had.
Yeah. It's so hard to start it, like to be like, all right, fully let loose.
One
like,
of the
really,
hardest things I've ever had to do.
Because you can like, sprint and be like, oh, I'm going.
Yeah, but you're not kicking. Like,
really fully giving it everything you have is insane, and you don't feel it at that point. Like when I did that 215-meter kick or whatever, I didn't feel anything in my legs.
Really?
I didn't feel a thing.
Yeah.
I felt 15 meters in, I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this sucks.
But
once I blocked it out, and I was
yeah.
like, just go. Like,
Yep.
shut up and just go.
Yep.
Once I did that, I didn't feel a thing.
Mhm.
I didn't feel like I was moving my legs. My brain just did it.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm just going. My torso, it felt like I was like, in those cartoons where it's like the legs go before the body?
That's how I run.
That's how I felt. I was like, zoom, like that. And I was like, oh, I guess we're going. Okay.
Yep.
Which is super crazy, and I love that. Sorry, this group chat is blowing up. Talking about Slushy Sunday, but yeah. So I think that's super cool, and really special, especially in a race.
Yeah. I had a race in high school. It was an 800, and it was against a team that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And like my team was getting tossed around by this team. Like I mean, we scored 20 points by this point by the 800, which is like near the end.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a good race. It did not go well. But 800 comes up, and I end up PRing by like 5-10 seconds. And there was like a graduate that was watching, And it was like I haven't seen something like that in a long time.
Hey!
'Cause it was the last 100. I was
That's dope.
15, 20 meters behind,
Wow.
and it just boom. I went out into lane 4, just boom.
Dude, I never go into lane 2. After my states meet senior year of the 2 mile, I was kicking, and a guy looked back, and I was in lane 2, and he was about to finish. I was about to beat him. He stepped into lane 2 to cut me off. Ever since then, I'm like, nope, I'm swinging it out. If I'm gonna get out,
swing it out and blast.
Right. I'm like, you are not gonna cut me off.
Right.
Boom, coming right down.
Yep.
But yeah, outdoors, the steeplechase is fun because that's a whole.
I've never
thing
done.
to plan.
I've watched it once in high school, but my coach didn't let me do it because he didn't want me getting hurt.
You gotta watch me run steeple.
I'm gonna very much enjoy that.
I love steeple because everybody comes to watch it because they're just like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
You got these scrawny
It's
kids
such
jumping over things.
a unnatural thing to watch.
Yes.
Like
Everybody's
the
just
first
very
time
much
seeing it, you're like,
gravitated
what is
towards it.
going on?
Yes.
Honestly, the first time I heard the word steeplechase, I legit deadass thought they were gonna have like one of those stick bunnies. I'm not even joking. I heard steeplechase and I was like, what's happening?
Yeah, steeplechase is cool. It's very similar to the 3K. You just kind of got to plan for jumps and stuff like that, which tire you out more.
And the
But
water, which I'm sure is
it's really fun.
very
We'll dedicate a
abstract
whole hour. I
element.
could talk to 4 hours about steeplechase. We'll talk about it sometime. We'll get really into it once I get into practicing again. But we'll get into it.
Yeah.
But Ethan just gave me the time symbol, so it's time to wrap it up. But this was a good episode. I enjoyed talking about
I
racing.
love talking about racing.
Yep.
Hey,
100%.
we're sorry, technical, dude. You mean
yeah.
sandwiches, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I have one in my bag. Yeah, I love talking about racing. So as always, thank you everybody for listening. We appreciate it sincerely. We hope you all are having a great week. Staying safe, staying well.
Yep.
If
The
you,
weather's getting super nice
it
out.
is. It's cooling down a little bit. It's going to be sunny and cool down. So enjoy it. Enjoy the nice fallish weather. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you later.
Yeah.
Goodbye.